Hey everyone, it's Steve at the Forbes Family Farm. Emily's behind the camera right now. We love putting together blog posts for you guys, recipe posts. Hope that you're enjoying those on the website. Thank you for checking them out. Thanks for following along. One of the things with the blog posts though is we want to make sure they're high quality, and lately just haven't had the time to sit down and really put a lot of energy and effort into a blog post. So instead, wanted to try our first video post, give you guys a little tour of what we have going on here at the farm, and let you check it out a little bit. So come on, let's go. What we're in right now is our market garden, what we call our market garden. And as you see, what we've done with this is set them up with 30-inch beds with about 1 foot spacing in between. That's our pathway. Pretty easy to set these beds up. We just hand dug them, basically dug out the pathways, put the dirt up into the beds to form the beds, and then amended them. One of the things that I'm really trying to do here on our farm is avoid a lot of inputs, and so something that we probably could have done better, we've learned already, is we could have put in a lot more compost, a lot more amending. We were really tight on time earlier this season when we were first getting started and just needed to get some stuff in the ground. I also didn't want to find a place hours away that would truck in a bunch of compost, so we tried to use some of the aged manure and things that we had on the farm. Resulted in not quite as high performance as we would have liked, but as you can see behind me, we've had something really come in well. Some lettuces, kale, a variety of different greens. We've got one big row of sunflowers, which are gonna pop here very soon, which is gonna make this look awesome. And then we've had really good success with some of the root crops, carrots, radishes. You see a few that have started going to seed. We're letting that happen so that we can collect seeds from some of the plants that we really liked. And that's something that we'll be doing here later this year as they seed out. So there's also a few that we need to clear out, some sections of bed that we'll clear, and then we'll mulch over. We've also learned a lot though in this process. I mean, there's things like that we realize we need to research as soon as things slow down a little bit, and over the winter, onions is going to be a big one. I've got a couple spots in here where I planted onions and it just have not had a lot of success with them. So we'll be researching a little bit, trying to do better next time around. But this is the market garden. Beautiful spot that takes a lot of time and energy for us, especially in just weeding and cultivating and irrigating. We've got a drip system set up, but that's always a lot of work just to maintain and keep up and going. So as we walk through, some of our favorite crops so far have been this red Russian kale right over here. It's been just an awesome cut and come again crop, something that we harvest, and then within a week it's already busting back out and has just been an awesome green that we add in with salads. Emily likes to throw them in with smoothies. It's just been a really delicious crop for us. A lot of our lettuces, our butterhead lettuces, red and green lettuces have all come in really well. We have some beets that are ready to harvest here that have come in, and when we replanted some beets again, doing a little bit of successional planting, and they've been looking really nice as they're growing as well. We had spinaches really when we first got started about 2 months ago. The spinach was some of the first greens that we were able to harvest, but a lot of them in the heat here the last month have started to bolt. So again, we're letting a few that are bolting the latest go to seed, have the qualities we like, and we're gonna harvest the seeds off of those. So this is the market garden. We've got another set of beds that we just finished building and that we're getting planted in, making it it's about 2/3 the size of this section that we have already planted in. But then we got a whole nother garden, Emily's favorite garden. It's what we call our kitchen garden or our potager garden, and it's just around the corner here. We'll walk over to it, and it's got a whole nother selection of food with a little bit more diversity and also a little more aesthetic to it. So our potager garden we've set up with a little bit more of a zen space, a place where we have a couple of spots that we can sit, enjoy the garden. We've done a couple different styles of raised beds. We've got a few hugelkultur beds. One thing we did different with the hugelkultur beds here is we dug them a lot deeper. So they've got a really big core, but we dug it deeper so they're They're not quite as tall as what we used to have when we were in the city. They've just been a little bit easier to manage that way. But in this garden, we've got all kinds of stuff going. We've got medicinal herbs. We've got just some varieties of plants that we've never tried before, and we're just testing them out. We have a lot of brassicas in here. We did a little Three Sisters bed in the back where we've got some of our favorite beans, corn, squash all growing together. And then also a lot of flowers mixed in with our marigolds and sunflowers and lilies. And this has been one of our favorite places to work, a favorite place for the kids to come out and hang out in the garden. And we even had some surprise perks out of the Protege Garden. We had some cherry trees over here that we didn't even know were here. Once we cleared out a lot of weeds and things and a lot of vines, all of a sudden these cherry trees appeared, and they had a really nice early fruit and harvest of tart cherries that we made some pies out of. And that's one of those unexpected harvests, which has just been some of our favorite harvests here on the farm. Also some choke cherry trees, which we've been harvesting just for the last couple weeks, and they have produced en masse. We have not even harvested a quarter of what's up there, and it was pounds and pounds and pounds of choke cherries. So we're gonna let the birds have some of them because I think we've got more choke cherries than we know what to do with. So that's the gardens. We're gonna cut the camera, take you over to the orchard, show you where the bees are hanging out, and then we'll go see some of the chickens and yaks. All right, here we are in the orchard. Something that we added to the orchard a little bit unexpectedly was a duck pond. Here just a few weeks ago, we had some people that we met in the area who offered to give us a few Indian runner ducks, and we had to build a pond for them. So we dug a little pond into the orchard. It's been a fun little addition. The ducks are a lot of fun. We'll do a shot. You hear them just starting to wake up in there. We're gonna let them lay their eggs before we let them out. Otherwise, we end up with eggs all over the orchard. So they get just a little bit more time inside this morning. And then this orchard is a well-established old orchard. It's got a lot of old fruit trees in it, mainly apple and plum trees. You see some of the apples up in this tree are ripening up and have been some of the best eating apples that we have. They're quite delicious. There's several other varieties. Many make great ciders and applesauce and things, and so we've been able to process a lot of apples. There's also apple trees just strewn about the property in some random locations, mostly likely spread by the birds. And it's kind of fun when you're out in the hay fields and just all of a sudden stumble upon an apple tree every once in a while. Also back here in the orchard is where we placed our bees. Great place so that in the springtime when the fruit trees are all blossoming, they'll have a lot of early pollen and nectar flows that they can get to. And so you see our beehives positioned just back over here in the corner. The bees have been doing great. If you've been reading along and following us on Instagram, you've heard a little bit about the fact that we had a swarm, and then we also had the colony outgrowing our hive again after that swarm even. And so we went ahead and kind of urgently built a new hive, one that I'm going to replace this winter once we have some time to really sit in the garage and do some work and build several hives. But both of the colonies now are doing great. Queens established in both of them, and we're really happy for that and looking forward to them producing a lot of honey here so that they can get through the rest of the winter. We're probably not going to do a whole lot with the honey throughout the rest of the year, but we'll let them store it up for the winter season. So this is the orchard. Fun place for us to get a lot of the sweet fruits and enjoy the harvest from here. Also a great place for us to enjoy the sweet nectar and the honey that the bees create. All right, and here we are on pasture in one of the hay fields where we are allowing our chickens and livestock to graze. This is our laying flock. You see the awesome tractor that my dad and some of his cousins and relatives helped build for us. It's been an awesome home for the laying flock. It's got the deck on it allows all of the manure to drop through, and so it's really, there's very little cleaning associated with it. We put new bedding in the laying boxes every once in a while. Otherwise, really low maintenance, and we're able to move the chickens around, keep them on fresh grass. And a key concept to what we're trying to do here with the grazing patterns is we're doing rotational grazing and multi-species grazing, where we have the chickens kind of cycling right behind the yaks. What you see behind me there, So the yaks are in kind of a small area that we move every day so that they're always on fresh grass, and then they're always dropping their manure and disturbing the ground in different areas. Then we have the chickens come right behind them. You see the chickens do have some food. We give them a little bit of supplemental feed, but they like to eat a lot of the grass and also all of the bugs that come in with the manure from the yaks. And so they spread that manure around, get all the bugs out of it. That's a really important process in breaking disease cycles and keeping the animals healthy. So we're really fortunate to be living in and have such an awesome, beautiful place that we're in. And Emily might kind of pan around here and you'll see some of the scenery here this morning. Just another beautiful morning to wake up to. We've got awesome cliffs all around us and just a beautiful pasture here that we get to have all the animals in and come out and care for them in. Thanks for joining us, and next time you come on, hopefully we have some more details on some of the processes we're implementing and some of what we have going on at the farm. See ya.